Hey, just a quick note to let you know that this video is a pre-recorded live event. If you'd like to join our upcoming events, such as demos and office hours, you can check out our schedule on our support page. Hope you find this video helpful and look forward to seeing you in our next event. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thanks to all of you that could join today's demo live, and welcome to those of you watching this video at a later date. Today's live demo that I'm going to be going through is how to add notes to ZooMonitor sessions. So it's going to be a quick video. I'm going to show two quick ways that you can add notes to your observations. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, here we are in ZooMonitor and on the project screen. And the project we're going to be looking at today is our Egyptian fruit bat monitoring project. So I'm going to open that up and start a new session. So you can see right here on this session summary screen before you start your observation session, this is the first place that you can add notes to your observation. So this is before you started recording. You can add important things that are happening in the environment nearby your animals that might be important to note here. So we'll go ahead and record this. So you can see our focal animal for this project is a group here, our Egyptian fruit bats. And then we have one question on here, construction nearby. So I'm going to say no. And just an example of what you might record. Let's say we have our PRs filming nearby. So that's something that doesn't happen frequently, but we might want to look back at that session. If behavior were different during that session, that might be a good example of why. So I have that note added. We'll go ahead and start the session. So here you can see our all occurrence behavior general comment. So this is the second way that you can add notes to your ZooMonitor observation session. So that first way was before you started recording the observation session. This is during your observation sessions. You can set up an all occurrence behavior to have a note field so you can enter text. And so this is a all occurrence behavior I created called general comment for this project. And you can see when we click it, because it's a group, it is asking us how many individuals. So we're just going to say all of the individuals it applies to. And then you can see here this comment field. And that previous screen I showed with the group and the counter there, that's only because this is a group individual or a group focal animal on this project. If it was an individual animal, you would not see that counter. You would just go straight to the screen. And so you can type in a note here. Let's say during our observation of the Egyptian fruit bats, let's say the keeper entered the habitat there. So that's an example of something that you might want to note during a session. Obviously, you wouldn't know that before, but those things happen during a session, and of course you can enter them here. And the nice part too is these all occurrence behaviors are timestamped. So you can also look back and see what behaviors occurred after that note was entered in looking at your data. So I'll go ahead and hit save, and then we'll go ahead and save this session. And so you can see the session here. I did want to also point out you can edit these notes. So if you go into edit here, you can see this note down here. And so you can go ahead and click edit and then save, or you can, type your edit and then go ahead and click save. And then if you wanted to change and make an edit to that all occurrence value that was recorded, that general comment, you can go to edit session data. I'm going to expand our all occurrence behavior channel. Your project will probably have more channels showing up there. And then I'm going to go to unlock edits. And you'll see when I do that, you'll see this behavior here is that general comment we recorded. And then this is the comment. So you could change this comment here if you wanted, and then go up and click save changes. So you can easily, two ways you can easily add notes to your ZooMonitor observation sessions, and then you can edit them afterwards. And let me show really quickly for that general comment how we created that in admin. So I'm just going to jump over to admin very quickly and show that. So the Egyptian fruit bat monitoring project right here, and then I'm going to go to our behavior tab on the project, and in all occurrence, you can see I have a behavior just named general comment, and then the one thing that was unique and special about this behavior is under the additional modifiers when I created this behavior, I turned on this comment box. So you're going to need to do that. And you can do this for any behavior. You don't need to just call it general comment. You could have any social behaviors and you could add this comment box if you wanted to allow your observers to add more details around what that social interaction looked like, any sort of all occurrence behavior. Only all occurrence behaviors can you enable this comment box. You cannot do that for interval or continuous behaviors. So let me jump back and look at that project one more time and just talk about what are some comments that you might want to add here. So I mentioned the example I used earlier was PR filming nearby. That's a good example of a comment you might want to add before your session starts. It's something that's happening, might impact the whole observation session, might impact the animal's behavior for the whole observation session. But there are other things that you might want to add comments for. Like for instance, on this project, we have a question for construction nearby. You could also add that as a comment, right? You could add a note right here as construction occurring nearby. However, what I would recommend is to think about how frequently the note that you're making is occurring. So if this is something that's occurring over and over, like construction, it's probably best to move it to a session question like I have shown here. The value of that is that when you have it set up as a session question, you can then use that in your built-in reports to filter your data. So you could look at what were the animals doing when construction was occurring and when construction was not occurring. And then of course you can also do that when you export your data and you work with your raw data. Entering it here as a note can be challenging to work with. All of your observers will probably be entering that note slightly differently. So you're going to have to do a lot of filtering through all of those notes that your observers have entered to figure out which ones have construction occurring. So if it's something that's occurring frequently, I would enter it here as a session question. If it's not occurring frequently, probably best to have it just as a note, and then if it occurs during the session. So that's just my advice and some tips on what makes a good note and when you should maybe think about, should it be a note or should it be a session question there. If you have any questions about this, of course, you can always feel free to email me, zoomonitor@lpzoo.org. And thanks for watching and hope you found this video helpful. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to be notified when we release more videos. If you have any questions about ZooMonitor, you can always feel free to contact us at ZooMonitor@lpzoo.org. Thanks.